Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. This is Tanush. I'm making this video as a follow-up of my previous two videos. So, what happened was when I made the prediction for 2022, I told that it's going to be a very good year. And my previous two videos, I spoke about the Saturn Sun conjunction, and then I spoke about the conjunctions which would be having in the month of February and March. Wherein most of the planets would be in the sign of Capricorn, and Sun would move ahead in the sign of Aquarius, and it will have conjunction with Jupiter. And then I also informed that it's going to be stressful period for most of the people, and we should be prepared, and we should not overreact to things, or things might go bad. So I got multiple mails and WhatsApp messages. Also, some of my friends were asking, that you have already informed that 2022 is going to be a happening year, a very good year. And then, you have been speaking about stressful period and the period being tough, and we should be prepared. So I thought, let me clarify things and also spread some positive vibes among you people. So yes, currently the period is stressful because of various conjunctions happening. We are seeing the Mars-Venus conjunction in the sign of Sagittarius, and then both Mars and Venus would move into Capricorn, and they'll have conjunction with Saturn and Mercury, which are already sitting there, and Sun again would move to the sign of Aquarius. So in a way, except for Rahu and Ketu, the south and north nodes, most of the other planets, they are in the sign of Saturn. And the planets which are in the sign of Capricorn specifically, along with Saturn, Saturn is, giving them a special treatment, we can say, wherein it is creating boundaries, which is the nature of Saturn as well as the nature of Capricorn. So it is it is going to create boundaries. It's going to give, stressful time. Things would move slow. To add to it, we are already seeing that there is Kala Sarpadosh, which has happened in the transit in the end of 2021, which is going to continue till mid of April. And this Kala Sarpadosh, in which Rahu and Ketu are basically hemming all the planets between them, it's going to increase the frustration. Now, these are all the things I gave a heads up, because everyone will be prepared for that, will not overreact to situations, or we will not overreact or try to exert pressure on relationships so that relationships won't go bad. Now coming to the good part, Kal Sarpadosh is going to end in the month of April, right? So that is one good thing, because Rahu and Ketu are limiting the strength of all the planets. Rahu and Ketu are making things move quite slow, which is also a kind of nature of Saturn, right? Now the month of April is going to be very, very significant one. It's going to be very interesting, because four major planets are going to transit. So what's going to happen is Jupiter, which is right now in the sign of Aquarius or Kumbh Rashi, Jupiter is going to transit into its own sign of Pisces, right? Where Jupiter is quite comfortable, Jupiter is very peaceful, settled, we can say, in a way, and it is also going to create Hamsa Pancha Mahapurusha for four ascendants. Also, it's going to give excellent results for most of the people, unless Jupiter is a functional malefic for you, or it's sitting in a very bad spot in your chart. It's going to give a very good result to everyone, right? So that is one good thing, because this transit of Jupiter is quite significant, because Jupiter was in very bad spot for last 2 years. We have seen when it was in the sign of Sagittarius, it was in conjunction with Ketu, Saturn. It was quite uncomfortable. Then Jupiter moved into sign of Capricorn, where it is debilitated. Then we have seen the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter adding to it. So Jupiter was not quite comfortable last 2 years, so now it's much better in the sign of Aquarius. But when Jupiter moves to the sign of Pisces, Meena Rashi, which is its own Rashi, it's going to be an excellent time from Jupiter's perspective, right? So if you are running Jupiter Mahadasha or Jupiter Antardasha, or Jupiter is one of the best planets for you, like we have Gemini ascendant, we have Virgo ascendant, we have Sagittarius ascendant, and we have Pisces ascendant and many other ascendants as well. When Jupiter is either Yogaraka or it holds two very important portfolios in your chart, so Jupiter is going to give you excellent results. So we can be prepared for that. Now the second good thing which is happening is Saturn, which is in the sign of Capricorn, which obviously is its own sign, but in the sign of Capricorn, Saturn represents boundaries. It is like a strict taskmaster which expects people to work extremely hard, be organized, be disciplined, and be patient and wait for the results, right? So that is what Saturn expresses in the sign of Capricorn, and the sign of Capricorn as well represents the same thing. So one way Saturn was actually creating a lot of frustration, and this movement of Saturn to the sign of Aquarius, though it is only for 3 months, is going to be quite significant, because once Saturn moves to the sign of Aquarius, it is much more settled, much more relaxed, and we can see many good things happening in the world, because Saturn here becomes a kind of planet which creates positivity throughout the society. Here it represents many technical things, inventions, many scientific things, things which are benefiting the society. So all these things we'll be seeing. And when Saturn comes back after 3 months, that is in the month of July, back to the sign of Capricorn, it is not so strict as it was earlier in the sign of Capricorn, because now the mood of Saturn is little different, right? So when it retrogrades and comes back to Capricorn, it is basically to correct things which have gone wrong, or which were either incomplete or not done in a proper way. So it gives a chance to the people to complete those things, to work on things which were incomplete or not done in a proper way, right? So it's giving a chance, and then Saturn rushes to the sign of Aquarius, where it is much more settled. Now the third good thing which is going to happen is Rahu and Ketu are going to change signs, right? So Rahu would be moving from the sign of Taurus into the sign of Aries, and Ketu would again be moving from the sign of Scorpio into the sign of Libra. So now Rahu and Ketu in the signs, they represents many different things. So I'll not get into that right now. I'll make a separate video for that. But when Rahu and Ketu are exalted in the transit, like they are now, right, in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio respectively, they are so powerful. They are capable of creating far more damage than than we are not when they are not so powerful. So in Aries and Libra, they lose their strength and also lose the capacity to do to damage things, I would say. And this transit of Rahu and Ketu, as per me, would be the beginning of end of this COVID situation which we are seeing, right? So COVID will completely come under control after the transit of Rahu and Ketu, and then it depends upon where they are transiting into your chart, and how the lords of Aries and Libra are placed in your chart, right? Which dasha you are undergoing, so many other parameters. But the damaging factor would now come to end, or at least it would be controlled to a greater extent, right? So one more thing is Venus, which is right now in the sign of Capricorn, would move to the sign of Aquarius, and the next transits of Venus to the sign of Aquarius, to the sign of Pisces, where it is exalted, to the sign of Aries, and again to its own sign of Taurus, are going to be very good from Venus perspective, right? So all these things are going to create a lot of positivity, starting from the month of April. So my intention was just to give a heads up that we can see situation which can be frustrating at times. So again, it's not for all the ascendants. A lot depends upon which dasha you are going through, which mahadasha, which antardasha, and how the planets are placed in your chart. But it's a kind of heads up to be prepared for situation. And if at all you come across this kind of situation, which most of you would be, then we can take this in a proper spirit and be assured that the time which is going to come from April is far more relaxing, much better, full of opportunities from April. So thank you so much everyone for seeing the video. So if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back again with another interesting video. Thank you so much.